Oh, for the love of, here we go again. Welcome back to Books I'll Never Read Again. My producer, who I swear is being paid a commission based on my personal misery, has handed me another one of these self-help doorstops. This time, 12 Rules for Life. He told me it's for my benefit. You know, that's the same thing he said about that juice cleanse that just made me angry at fruit. But hey, for your benefit, I'm gonna rip this thing apart so you don't have to. So right out of the gate, the book asks, rules? More rules? Really? And for one shining, beautiful moment, I thought, yes, finally, someone who gets it. But no. No. It's a trick. It's a setup. The whole point is that actually, we desperately need his rules, because we're all just stumbling around like sad little puppies without a clue. The absolute nerve, the magnificent gall to think his 12 are the ones that are going to solve everything. Let's see about that. So what's the big idea here? Well, basically, the argument is that the original 10 Commandments were a pretty good first draft, a solid B+ effort. But they forgot all the important stuff, like your posture and lobsters. Oh, you just wait. We are absolutely getting to the lobsters. So this is kind of like the director's cut, the 2.0 update on how not to be a total walking disaster. Now, this is where he tries to get all profound. See, he says this to make his rules sound like these big, epic, unchangeable truths. It's a good line, I'll give him that. But honestly, the 10 suggestions sounds like a much better system. It's way more chill. Hey, maybe, try not to covet your neighbor's lawnmower this week. Just a thought. Less fire, less brimstone, more of a friendly neighborhood reminder. I'd read that. Okay, so before we even get to a single rule, the foreword goes to great lengths to paint a picture of our author. And it's important, you gotta build the brand, you gotta know what kind of guru you're getting your life advice from. And let me tell you, it is a very specific flavor of guru. So we're told to picture this guy, an Albertan accent, cowboy boots. This is supposed to scream rugged individualist, a real salt-of-the-earth thinker, not some pencil pusher. He's got dirt on his boots, even if that dirt is just, from the faculty parking lot. It's all a carefully crafted image to get you ready for the tough love advice that's coming your way. And then there's this little detail. The guy's house is apparently full of Soviet propaganda art. Now, the book says it's so he can understand the psychology of evil. Sure, fine, but can you imagine going over for dinner? Hey, come on in, make yourself at home. Don't mind the giant, terrifying poster of Stalin staring at you. It's for research, so who wants a cheese puff? And then we get this little gem. There was something boyish in the cowboy. Boyish. In a book that is about to spend hundreds of pages telling you to grow up, take responsibility, and stand up straight, our hero is boyish. What does that even mean? He knows a lot of knock-knock jokes? He draws little cartoons in his very serious notebooks? For a guy who's about to tell us all how to be adults, it's a real head-scratcher. All right, everybody take a deep breath. It's time. You knew it was coming. This is the moment. The moment the entire self-help industry jumped the shark and landed right in the middle of a Red Lobster. We have to talk about the lobsters. So the book poses this deep philosophical question. What do you have in common with a lobster? And my first thought was, not a whole lot. I've never been sold by the pound. My skeleton is on the inside, which, call me old-fashioned, is where I prefer it. But no, according to Rule 1, you and this bug-eyed sea roach have a nervous system that's 350 million years old, and apparently that's the key to everything. So the author connects our brain chemistry to these crustaceans. He's explaining how our emotions and our social status are linked just like them. And then, to really hammer it home, he drops this absolute comedic bomb, quote, particularly when you are feeling crabby. He actually wrote haha in parentheses, just so you wouldn't miss the joke. That's not a joke. That's a cry for help. So here's the science. See, lobsters have a pecking order. A lobster wins a fight, its brain gets a little shot of serotonin, it puffs its chest out and struts around. A happy lobster. A lobster loses a fight, its serotonin plummets, and it just kind of slumps over. A sad lobster. And the big takeaway is that our brains are the same. So if you just stand up straight, you'll trick your dumb brain into thinking you're a winner. My landlord Stan is a total sad lobster. Slouches all over the place. I guess all he needs to do is go pick a fight with the mailman to become king of the apartment complex. Problem solved. And now we get to what is, without a doubt, my favorite role in the entire book. It's a piece of advice so weirdly specific you just know it came from the author shaking his fist at some kid who almost clipped him on the sidewalk. Rule 11. Do not bother children when they are skateboarding. Okay, so the argument is that skateboarding is dangerous, and letting kids do dangerous things helps them build character. Don't bubble wrap them, fine, whatever, but look at this kid. Look at him. He's got a face that practically screams, "Please bother me." I wouldn't be bothering him. I'd be providing a vital public service. Hey kid, your posture is terrible. You're gonna be a sad lobster by 30. Stand up straight. See? I'm helping. Okay, for a second, let's get serious. Because this is the part of the book where the language goes from simple lobsters to something else. This is where you need a dictionary and a stiff drink, because we're diving headfirst into a $50 word salad. First up, we get this beauty, the tyrant mania of impotence. Ooh, sounds impressive, doesn't it? It just means people who feel powerless, so they become little tyrants over the tiny things they can control. You know, like my Uncle Jerry, who organizes his canned goods by expiration date and will have a full-blown meltdown if you put the peas in the corn spot. Classic tyrant mania. Then there's this one. Mephistophelian intrigue. I can barely even say it. It's just a ridiculously over-the-top way of saying making a deal with the devil, you know? Lying to get what you want. Come on. If I have to know 16th century German folklore to understand your life advice, you're doing it wrong. Just say, don't be a lying weasel. It's faster for everybody. And then, of course, the final boss, postmodern/Marxist acolytes. He spends a huge chunk of the book going after these guys. And I gotta be honest, by this point, my brain was just soup. He could have told me the next rule was never buy socks from a duck, and I would have just nodded along. All right, let's try to get through this one. The point is simple. Your brain is really good at lying to you. But here's how the book says it. The capacity of the rational mind to deceive, manipulate, scheme, trick, falsify, minimize, mislead, betray, prevaricate, deny, omit, rationalize, bias, exaggerate, and obscure is so endless, so remarkable, I can't do it. It's like he swallowed a thesaurus and then threw it up on the page. Who writes like this? Oh my God. Positively demonic is right. Okay, I'm good. So after all that, what have we learned? We've learned to stand up straight like a lobster who just won a bar fight. We've learned to let kids play with fire because, character. And we've learned that the best way to sound smart is to just use 12 words when one will do. And now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go find a dark corner to slouch in. Buzz off, you silly geese.